I'm sure you know your numbers better than I do. Last year, you had 203 carries. That was up from 103 the year before. So you increased your carries by 100. You increased your receptions by 51. What would be the ideal role for you in the offense this season, do you think?
Um, I would say like, pretty same as, last year. I feel like, in like OTAs right now, like, I feel like I'm doing like the same similar things as far as like, you know, getting out the backfield and running routes and, just learning the route tree. So I'm pretty sure like it'd be similar to last year.
And what do you think you did best last season? You stayed healthy. I know you had the concussion, but you played all 17. Like
Hmm.
I said, 100 more carries, 50 more receptions. What do you think it is that you did best last season and you take into
Um,
this season?
Basically just like you said, staying healthy was the main goal. And so basically just, staying in the training room, just coming in, on the off days, making sure like even if I'm not hurt, just, being in there. And because like you said, 17, that's a long year. That's a long time. And I learned that from my rookie year. So like you said, in the second year I wanted to, make sure that, I was 100% available for every game. And that's the same thing going in on this year.
And if I could slide in one more, did staying working on your body, is that something that you knew you had to do, or was that something like sitting next to Tehran? He told you what made you know that you had to do that, work on your body to stay healthy?
Just the fact that like me, I don't like having nicks and necks or like being hurt or like just lingering issues. So that just came with just okay like learning from them. As you can see, like they've been in the league longer than I have, and they were still experiencing stuff that happened like when they first got in the league or like stuff like that. So I just just learning from them and me being young, so I can start early now. So I don't when I get to like those years, I don't have no problems.
Yep, cool. Thanks, man.
What would a good season for you personally look like?
Um, this year on probably say like you said, like every year I want to get better. So like you said, as far as like my numbers wise, far as I probably say like in the rush game, I always want to try to hit 1,000 yards and then 500 yards passing. That's I feel like I can do that. For as how much I'm being used and like the past game I was last year because I had a lot of receptions and me watching film, like I said, I feel like I left a lot of plays, so I feel like I could have did more. You know what I'm saying? Like well, going back and watch the year and like the cut ups, I feel like I left a lot of yards on the table.
So in what way did you leave a lot of yards on the field? I mean, what can you do better in your game to make sure that you maximize all those yards in
Um, just just
2025?
just that the day-to-day stuff. I feel like it was just more so like me rushing and not, like me just not going like just the small details. Like I'm knowing I'm supposed to do this, but like just trying to make a big play instead of like just doing the right thing and it was there. Like just because it wasn't there like the play before, thinking okay, like it's gonna be different this play, knowing, but just stuff like that.
So it's if 3 yards are there, take 3 yards and don't take a chance on losing two. Is it something like that?
Yeah, I just stuff like that. Just always trying to get the ball back to the line of scrimmage, even on a bad play.
Thank you.
Isaiah?
Yo, what's going on, Devon?
We good.
Wanted to ask about leadership in that running back room. You are now the most, I believe, the longest tenured Dolphin in that running back room. Just what is leadership? How does your leadership evolve from last year to this year? Especially with no Raheem there.
It was a lot. I still got Alec in there, so that's kind of that's a great role model to look after. But like you said, we don't have Raheem no more, so it's kind of like me and Alec now.
Yeah.
And just me being so like it's a few guys like new guys. Like, I'm telling them the same thing. Everybody told me when I came in, kind of trying to help them out, and I feel like just me being more like vocal this year because I feel like I wasn't a big like talkative person last year, but I feel like as the years keep going, I feel like you grow with everybody and you get more comfortable.
And then a quick follow up. You talked about kind of you touched on a little bit like preparation coming into this year. Just how I want to know like take me inside that process. Like how does preparation change from going into year one, then going into year two, and then now you're going into year three. How has that preparation changed?
I wouldn't say it changed, like you said. I just feel like you still do like your same routine. I just feel like you just add little details in there for us. Like I feel like even as a team, I feel like we doing better than we did last year because a lot of guys here in OTAs like we trying to build our chemistry early than trying to do it like in training camp. So I feel like it's more of a like team thing. A lot of people's here. Everybody make sure that our body's healthy for like when the season do come. We don't be like okay, like everybody like injured. I got like little nicks and that's.
And if I could just slide in one quick more, that's something that we kind of noticed at rookie camp. Like there was a lot of the vets there. What does that say about what this team is trying to build now?
I'm gonna say a lot, like you said, all the people being here, and we just building that chemistry early and not waiting until like when the season started, then trying to build like during the season.
Appreciate you.
Omar?
What up? I want to ask you, what did you learn about yourself and maybe the NFL going from your rookie season where you had NFL record-setting success to last season where you were over 1,300 yards? What did you learn about the league and about yourself?
I learned a lot. Like you said, it's when you first come in from college, it's different. You see like the game is different. You see everybody. You see like everybody. It's not the same as it is like when you're in college. But like from year one to year two, I feel like okay, like as the game gets better, I feel like me as a person, like okay, I gotta do stuff different. Like I gotta train different. As far as like keep my body well. Like you said, 17 weeks way different than 10. So like you learn. Okay, like how do I stay 100% available for 17 weeks? And I feel like that's something I got better at.
Did you feel like you were fresh at the end of the year?
Most definitely. Like I said, I didn't come out with no major injuries. Like I didn't miss no games. So I feel like year one and year two, like it was a major jump.
Mm-hmm. And just since everybody's asking 3 questions, let me go for it. With this team and a lot of the questions and concerns about the physicality, the toughness, how do you guys went from 2,300 yards your first season and then struggled running last season. How do you address that whole toughness issue?
I just feel like, man, we all here. I mean, as a team, I feel like we go out there and practice every day, and we gonna show like, okay, when the season comes, like everybody who was saying those little marks and just make sure they keep the same energy. I feel like you said, as a team, we putting that energy, and we here like every day. We're not missing days. Like I feel like you can see like this year's team is way different than last year's team.
Thank you.
Joe Shad?
Hey, Devon, it's Joe. Good to see you as always.
Mhm.
You just referenced how this year is different than last year. And I think it ties into the first question I was going to ask you was about, what has Coach McDaniel said, if anything, about the areas of discipline, focus, being on time and present? Does that seem to be a theme at this time?
Yeah, like most definitely about being present, like you said, just trying to make sure that everybody here. Like, we know it's voluntary, but like if you want to win, you want to win games, like this is where it started. So and I feel like we're doing a good job at that. And as long as we keep that going, bro, like we'll see like the season will be different than it was last year.
I want to ask you quickly about your first impression of 2 rookies who are, well, I'll tell you what I think after. What about Ollie Gordon II? What do you think?
He's a great player. He came in like he comfortable, like he talked to us like he been here. So I feel like him talking to us, like it makes it easier for us to talk to him, bond with him, and him asking us questions. I just feel like it makes everything easy. Like he not scared to like speak up and say stuff, and I feel like that's good.
And what about the new number 72, Jonah Savayanaya?
Yeah, John is a good dude. You can tell just by talking to him. Like you said, man. I spoke to him like twice. He good dude. And you can just see like him out there like today. We did a little stuff, and him just want to put the work in. And that's if you working hard and he's doing that, and I mean that's all you need. Like long as he out there, he doing what he need to do, and he just falling in line.
I think I messed it up. I think it's Savai Naya, but someone can tell me if I'm right. David Fronis says I'm right. Savai like Hawaii. That's what Jonah told us.
Yeah, I don't even try to pronounce it. I just call him Jonah.
Thanks.
Kind of going off of Joe's question about Ollie Gordon, what is it that you knew about him entering the draft, and what is your understanding of how his addition, kind of more between the tackles kind of runner, can maybe help you either preserve your body or get you into positions where you got some space instead of trying to maybe create out of nothing?
It's a lot. Like I said, when you got a lot of interaction that's good, and everybody like good at certain areas, it's like kind of hard for a defense like to key in on one thing. And I seen him play when they 'cause they had played A&M. That's when I like first seen like him like playing the real game. And I was like, okay, like he kind of nice. And then when we drafted, I was like, okay, like I feel like he'll help this room, man. And as you and at practice, I feel like he learned it, and he picking up faster than I was. I've been talking to everybody like when I first got here, like I was lost and confused, but he getting it, and he out there and he want to work. So that he in a great room to do it, and I feel like with me being a leader, just showing him the way, and that's something I've been doing.
If your rookie year was lost and confused, I think a lot of people would love to be lost and confused. Is it surreal for you at all? Like you mentioned that y'all played against them in college. Is it surreal for you at all in year 3 of the NFL when you see guys that you played against years ago like starting to trickle into the league?
I mean, I wasn't there when they played, but like he played like A&M. But like it's still like, yeah, when you still like see like, okay, like your teammates that you play with in the league and y'all play each other, like it's still a fun moment to have.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
We've got time for 2 more. We'll go to Alan and then close out with David.
Hey, Devon, unlike most of these guys, I only have 2 for you, not 3. So we'll go. My first question to you is, you wound up leading the team in touches last year and by a large margin. How much of a surprise was that to you, or was it a surprise? And how did you enjoy that?
I would say the surprise because I feel like most defense try to stop 10-17, and that just leave like a lot of opportunities for me. And I mean I'm kind of was prepared for it, so I would say I was a bit surprised.
And my quick follow-up was, for the past 3 years, the leading rusher for the Dolphins has had twice as many carries as anybody else on the team. Do you think that maybe the team would be better served if a little bit more balance in the running game?
I mean, it really depends on how the defense playing. I feel like we go into the game with a balanced offense. Like whether we're gonna throw it past the whole game. I just feel like we just go based off like how the defense playing and what they doing.
Yep.
David?
Hey, Devon, good to see you. We know about the struggles the team had in short yardage situations last year. A bigger back was brought in free agency in Alexander Madison. A bigger back was brought in through the draft in Ollie Gordon. Has anything been communicated to you about roles in short yardage and how that will be distributed? Or just what do you think about those additions as far as bigger body backs or physical running backs to the room?
Nah, we haven't discussed that, but I just feel like any addition to the room is good. Like you say, it's always good when you got a lot of backs and we all good at certain different. Everybody better at something than somebody else, and for us to have all us dudes that can go out there and perform, I feel like that's good to have in the room.
And I want to ask you about the other guy in the room, Jaylen Wright, who was there last year. What do you think is the key for him going from year 1 to year 2?
I feel like he's doing great. Like you said, he know his stuff and he's very comfortable now. And I feel like he can go out there and do the same thing I can do. He can go run routes. He can catch the ball. So I feel like him just adding that to his bag. I feel like he's gonna be a great player.